What's up, everybody? So, it has been a little while since I posted a full on YouTube video. I do want to just say this video will be a little bit longer because I have to catch up on everything that's happened since the end of the spring semester. So, this video is really going to just be a little catch up on how training's been going, goals that we've hit, goals that we want to hit throughout the summer and into the fall, races that we ran, just a little recap of absolutely everything. And in the top right corner, I'm going to be putting race footage from the Citizens 10K that I ran about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, that's really it. So first things first, although I'm home right now, I am living in Stony Brook this summer, so that's given me really awesome access to a lot of nature, whether it's nature preserves, parks, beaches, all, the whole lot. So I'm out in Stony Brook actually because I got a nursing externship. And hold on, Zoe wants to come up. So Zoe's our little doggy. Hi. You look scared as hell, baby. But Zoe is a little lap dog, so she'll be sitting here because she wants to. She's the boss of the house. But I got a summer internship at Stony Brook University Hospital, so I'm basically a nurse intern for the summer. So I get paid, and I get to live all the way out there, which is really awesome. Obviously, they're not paying for that, so I have to pay for that myself. But cheap little apartment. Definitely not the most comfortable living space, especially since I'm in an attic with no AC. And when it's anything above 70 degrees out, it's roughly 100 degrees in my room. So I'm just really outdoors so much and trying to stay cool, whether it's the library or Planet Fitness, wherever I can escape to. Secondly, let's talk end of semester. So I finished Adelphi, I did great on my finals, and our GPA went up, which is an awesome thing, and we want to keep bringing that up. My club won some awards. If you don't know, I'm the founder and president of the Men in Nursing Association on campus. So we became a national chapter. We won some awards for it, really good recognition. Got some Dunkin' Donuts cards for free from some of our amazing staff over there. So it was a really nice end of the semester. On the flip side of that, a little more bittersweet is that a nice majority of my friends did graduate, as well as my girlfriend and some of my closest friends. So obviously that's a little bit of a bummer, but I look forward to making new friends at Stony Brook for now, making and continuing relationships at Adelphi in the fall. And then, hopefully I want to maintain a lot of the relationships I have with those people who just graduated. So I ran the New York Roadrunners Brooklyn RUN 5K, which is Run 5K in Prospect Park. I just recently ran on June 14th the Citizens 10K, which is my first 10K ever, and we'll be covering that in just a second. And I also ran the New York Roadrunners Mindful 5K in May. The Run 5K, I was pacing Devara, and the Mindful 5K, I was just going all out for myself to see what I can do. So that race, I ran a 23:12 out of 7:28 pace per mile, and I placed just under 1,000 out of almost 5,000 people. I was a little bit below, or technically above average in my age group, ranking 70 out of 180, and that age group is 20 to 24. I'm currently 21. One big thing is, yes, I did smash that 24-minute goal, but the second I finished that race, I knew I had so much more in me. And I can remember really the last, I want to say a little bit above half a mile, I usually all out kick. This race, I didn't do that. I held back because it was my first 5K since I believe August, and I just did not want to burn out. So I do believe I could have gone sub 23, 100%. And the whole race, I did not pace myself necessarily. I looked down on my watch once around mile 2, and I really just played cat and mouse. I kept just looking for the next person to pass. And that's kind of how I just made sure I was on top of pacing and constantly holding a specific, region of, okay, I'm going to end up around this time. So I really do look forward to my next 5K and, hopefully smashing that 23-minute goal, hopefully maybe even a 22-minute goal by the time that next 5K occurs. This would be that Run 5K. So again, this one I paced out Devara. It was later in the day. It was right after school. So we headed to the city. We took the LIRR all the way from Garden City on Long Island, and it was right before our Yankee game. So again, just being 3 days after our 5K that we went all out on, We kind of wanted to dial it down. Devara wanted to take it easy. Her stomach wasn't feeling very well. And she still, I believe, smashed her PR. We both finished at a 27:42. That's an average pace of 8:55 per mile. And she did amazing. That course was very, very hilly. And I think she was just about 5 seconds below what she did on the Mindful 5K, which was a much easier course. And I think that's very commendable for having stomach pain and still pushing through. She had so much left in the tank on that last mile. The second that last mile hit, I don't know if you have seen one of the reels of, run with me for this 5K. You can just see her just explode at the end. And she's cutting and weaving. I mean, she squeezed bends in the last quarter mile. And lastly, and most recently, the Citizens 10K. So that was back in Flushing Meadows Park. That course was relatively flat. It had a couple slow inclines on pavement, and then it had its more sudden and extreme ones where we were crossing up the bridge and back down almost immediately. This was my first 10K, so I didn't exactly know how to pace it. So I kind of went into it running two 5Ks, and my first goal was to go, I believe, sub 24 on my first 5K, or around 24 minutes on my first 5K of the race. And then in the second, I just wanted anything to make it a negative split. I ended up with sub 50. Originally, my highest goal, I had a few of them, was going sub 47. And then it was sub 48, sub 49, sub 50 was the very last goal. And if I didn't go sub 50, I would have been a bit disappointed. At this point, June 14th, I had about 2 weeks of training under my belt. Going into this race again, I only have had, I think, about 10 miles under my belt, or 12, whatever it says on Instagram. And I feel like I still smashed it for it being my first 10K. And I definitely had nothing else in the tank. I had some bad moves as far as getting stuck behind groups of people, trying to cut through certain groups of people just to get around them and maintain my pace. This little guy's so aggressive. Hey, you want to calm down? Okay. So I got caught behind people, and those cut up into seconds. Those seconds add up. So again, I finished the race sub 50. I finished with a 49:52. That's an average pace of 8:02 per mile. Realistically, I think with good fitness under my belt, I would have had an average pace of about 7:50 per mile. And I know that's a 10-second jump per mile, but I do really think I could have held it with proper training and definitely better conditions. And I was dying of heat. I had a little New Balance windbreaker on, and it did its job of keeping me warm. But running a 10K and running a 5K and racing it, I just got way too hot, way too quick. I was dehydrated. I was hot. I was not ready for this race. So there's definitely so much room for improvement, and I'm very happy with my result no matter the conditions that were on the course that time. So races that are coming up. Today is June 28th that I filmed this. I had a video set up for the Citizens 10K a little while ago, but the footage came out so shaky. It's nauseating to watch, which is why I'm minimizing it and putting it in the top right corner so you don't notice it as much and it doesn't make you as dizzy, but you still have some cool footage. So you're not just looking at my beautiful face while you hear me speak for about 15 minutes. So tomorrow, June 29th, we have the Achilles Hope and Possibility 4 mile with the Achilles Foundation. And that's a really awesome race because you get to run with disabled athletes, many of which are blind and some are in crutches or wheelchairs and have prosthetics. And you just see all these athletes who have overcome their own difficulties. And it's a really beautiful thing to see that amount of grit and dedication. And in a way also bravery for, continuing to go out there. Running's already not an easy thing to do. And some of these, guys and girls push the limit, completely push the limit. So it's going to be an absolutely sick race. I'm pretty excited. And speaking of which, I have it right here next to me. This is my bib for tomorrow. Nice little thing. And then New Balance, which is really cool because all the races so far have either been a medal or a piece of merch. For this one, we get a little bit of both. So you get a singlet, a Hope singlet, and it has the Achilles Foundation, New Balance, TD, and all the sponsors of New York Roadrunners. So that's pretty sick. And tomorrow on Instagram, I'll definitely pop out and, show the bib on me and everything I'm running with. So another piece of merch that I got were these awesome shoes, the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4s. Now, I really wanted them in that sick, like, white, purple, and orangey pink, sherbet, whatever you want to call it, colorway. I've been looking at these shoes for over a year. They've been sold out almost every single time, and I didn't feel like buying them full price at like $170 or $180, whatever they are. But I finally got them, and they're really sick. I've liked them. I've only ran 4 miles in them. It was a progressive run, not intentionally, but it was supposed to be an easy run. And I'm excited because, I'm going to actually take them up to speed tomorrow. And what's really, really exciting is after tomorrow, I have 3 races left before I'm officially qualified for the 9+1. And that gives me entry into the New York City Marathon. So those last 3 races, besides the one that's tomorrow, I'm running the New Balance Fifth Avenue Mile, which is an iconic race. So I'm really excited to run that. And I think I'm going to have a little surprise for that race. Just a week after that, we're running the New Balance Bronx 10 mile, which is awesome because I'm getting New Balance shorts, I think. I don't know. One of these races I'm getting shorts, and then one of these races I'm getting a really nice shirt. Don't know which one. I probably have it flipped. And lastly, the goal and the training for this summer rotates around this race right here, and that is the Staten Island Half Marathon, October 12th. So the 10 mile in September is going to be a really nice prep, and then October 12th is going to be race day. So on the screen now is my training plan that I created. Week 1 is this week. Starts at 18.5 miles, and it goes all the way up over time. Here we go to 45 miles. That's our peak week, and that is week 13. This is a 16-week program. I feel like I get a lot more out of doing reps. So one of my favorite workouts from the 5K training plan that I'll also be including in this one to get my VO2 max up and all that other nice stuff is a Norwegian 4x4. That workout is obviously famous. You could Google it and add to it whatever you want, and it's very similar to a repeat workout that I also will include next. So the Norwegian 4x4 is 4 minutes on at like a really hard pace, and then 3 minutes off at a recovery pace, and you do this 4 times. It basically becomes about a 4-mile workout, maybe more, maybe less, depending on how fast you are. The other thing I really love is I hate mile repeats, but I do really love half-mile repeats. And a nice middle ground to that is doing 1,000 meter repeats. So that's one thing that I enjoyed last year. Well, not last year, but last training plan. And that's something I've always kind of loved. One of the harder workouts we're also going to get into is in week 6, and that is a 5-mile tempo at marathon pace. And then a 3-minute recovery with a rest after that, and then you go into a 2x1 mile. So 2 reps of 1 mile repeats at a 7:20 pace, which is around threshold, and a 2-minute recovery. And that's a 7.5 mile workout. Those are the workouts I'm really aiming to do. I want workout, like my speed days, I don't want to be below realistically like 5 miles anymore, because I'm trying to get all that mileage under my legs and have my body adapt and have my muscle fibers adapt to that. In high school, I was a mid-distance runner. And I think when I started to get into those higher, like 30-mile weeks, that's when my body really collapsed. I got plantar fasciitis and stuff like that. So that's the overall goal for this, is just to really get mileage under my legs and, just work through it, stay consistent, especially with prehab in the gym, because I want to maintain my current physique. I want to strengthen my body. And I really did lack at prehab, and I started to feel it near the end of my 5K training plan when I was starting to hit higher mileage. So prehab is going to be something that I really, really try to do more than what it's listed on the schedule. Really make sure I do all the right little things, because it's the little things that make all the difference. So I've been trying to, get mileage under my feet, which is why I'm starting at 18.5 miles per week for week 1. Because I've been running the past 3 or 4 weeks, getting that base mileage under me, using the elevation, using everything to kind of strengthen my body for this race, for the 10K, even though I didn't have much time, and then just to really use the summer to my advantage. Summer training to me is one of the most important things, you know, no matter what sport you're in, because you have that excess time and resource, which is time, to really lock in and do all the little things, because again, it is the little things that make all the difference. So I really want to use this summer to stay consistent with prehab, et cetera, et cetera. The last training plan, I peaked at 28 miles and I started lacking on prehab and my body started to feel it. So this one, since I'm literally close to doubling that mileage, peaking at 45 miles for the summer and going into the fall there, I want to make sure I stay healthy and injury free. And yeah, that's really it. That's all the catch up I have. Stay tuned for an Achilles 4-mile video, review on the Sauconys, et cetera, and I hope to give you guys some more fun content, some more enthusiastic content. I kind of want to make a shift. I've been very, I guess, professional and kind of nonchalant in a lot of these videos, and I don't want them to be boring for you guys, because you guys are obviously watching them, whether you're, you know, just some of my best friends or completely random people who enjoy my content. It doesn't matter. I want it to be enjoyable, relatable, whatever you want to call it. And one thing I want to do is encourage, you know, obviously not only my friends to get out there and walk or run or bike or do anything, but just stay fit, stay healthy. And, you know, I think that's easier said than done, but nothing easy in life is worth it. All the hard things in life are the things that make the difference, and those are the things that stick with you. So I want all my guys out there and, you know, my girl and everyone else to stay consistent and just endure. So thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. And Tabor gets it. There you go. I knew if I just started a little happy birthday would wind you up. That's what I'm here for. Princeton Peloton finishing up. Our friend Aaron over there finishing up. Hey, Ron.